Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? What the heck was that draft? My mock draft has been just shattered to pieces. Let's just talk about it. What the heck is going on? And good evening, baseball fans. Hello, hello. I know that just said power rankings, but this is not power rankings because we're going to talk the draft tonight. What is going on, everyone? How are we doing? We got 200 people in here to start things off. What the heck was that draft? I did a mock draft a couple nights ago, and I thought, hey, you know what? This looks pretty good. I like my picks here. And I think I only got like 2 right out of the entire first round. What the heck? I am garbage at mock drafts, but at least I got a couple right. I'll take that to the bank. Who would have thought Kumar Rocker would go in the top 3? I thought, okay, maybe top 10, maybe top 15, top 20, but top 3? What the? And go to the Texas Rangers. What the heck is going on? This is crazy. That blew my mind. Just absolutely blew my mind. Jackson Holliday going number 1 overall to the Baltimore Orioles. Overall, an extremely fun first round of the 2022 Major League Baseball draft. Everyone, I want to apologize. I was going to be live for the draft. However, I had to go out of town a little earlier. I had some friends and some family that came in, about an hour away. And I had to go see him today. It was pretty unexpected, last minute. But I'm here now. That's the best I could do. It's the best I could do. I did want to go live for it. I wanted to react. I know I said I was going to. But you know what? When friends and family are in town, I have to take advantage of that. I have to, I don't get to see friends and family as often as I would like to. So I always take that opportunity every time I can. But I do apologize for not being here. But I am here now. It is 11:30 over here on the East Coast. I'm a tired boy. I just drove an hour and a half to get home to set up this stream and to talk to all of you and your lovely faces. And we're going to talk some draft here. And in a way, I kind of like it this way. I can just kind of go through everything. I could give my analysis, my thoughts on every single pick. So let's get to it here. I am on a bit of a delay. I didn't change the settings in the stream, so I'm a little behind, probably around like 20 to 30 seconds behind. So hopefully that won't be a problem for tonight. But I did see a couple of super chats coming on in as we were getting everything warmed up. Let me read those really quick. Conman752, our Orioles fan on the channel. Pretty happy overall with getting Holliday. No issues with the pick. Elias's master plan: push back the left field wall and load up on all the lefty bats. Conman, I really do agree with I think the pick of Jackson Holliday, you can't go wrong with that pick. I do think it will end up being a bit of an underslot kind of a deal. Elias likes to go under slot. I thought he would go the college route once again, going with someone like Brooks Lee. I thought he was the favorite coming into today. We had a bit of a last minute change not too long ago where we actually did see Tarmar Johnson become the favorite for the number 1 pick, and then it shifted towards Jackson Holliday not too long before the draft, and that's what ended up happening. I do think in the end it will be a bit of an underslot deal. I think Drew Jones would have wanted the full slot value. I think Jackson Holliday, they're going to be able to work out something where they won't have to go that full slot. We'll have to wait and see what the deal ends up being. But Conman752, I am seeing your other super chat, a $10 super chat. It looks like it's a part 2. Elias's master plan is as follows: push back the left field wall, load up on all the lefty bats. Sounds pretty good if you ask me. Load up on all the lefties. Those guys are going to hit bombs, and then you push back the wall out in left field. help out the pitchers a little bit. I like it. I like it. Long-term thinking. I like it. In 2 years or so, we could see Mullins, Kjerstad, Cowser, Gunnar, Vavra, Beavers, and Holliday. Man, oh man. There's also, I think round 2 also just got started. I noticed that there were some picks going on. I'm not fully caught up yet, but so I can react to round 2 a little bit. But again, I was driving home. I was kind of checking on the tracker on the way home. Drive safely. Don't be looking at your phone. But I was being safe about it. I was looking when I had a good time to check. But let's just get to it here. Let's get to it here. I have wasted enough time. Just really quick before I get started. If you are new in the chat right now, if you're thinking, who the heck is this guy? Who the heck is this ginger guy sitting here in a Red Sox jersey and just blabbering his face off to me? Well, we're talking baseball here all the time, especially right now. It's a busy part of the month, so definitely consider subscribing down below if you are looking for more baseball news and content. Hit that like button, everyone. How many likes are we at? Where are we at with the likes? We're at 64 likes, and we got 291 people in the chat. Well, according to my potato brain and trying to come up with some mathematics, it looks like there are over 200 of you that have not hit that like button. So take your finger, put down the green tea, put down your detox tea, whatever you may be drinking, any mojitos in the chat, put them down, take your finger and hit that like button. Hit the bell notification every time you get notified, every time I go live or every time I upload a video. I uploaded a Juan Soto video this morning, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And hey, share the stream if you can. Don't forget, we are partners here with SeatGeek. Use my code HYDE, $20 off your first purchase. And we are partners with Prize Picks. If you are into the sports betting game, go check out Prize Picks. Use my code GINGER. They will give you a 100% deposit match. All right, everyone, let's get to it here. Let's get to it. We got a lot of first round to break down. I got the music ready for you guys. I got the music ready. Let's get to it here. All right, music is ready. Let's get to it. So, as we can see here, Jackson Holliday was the #1 overall pick. There's a lot to like about Jackson Holliday. So, when it comes to looking at scouting reports, I always trust Baseball America. I think they're the best in the business. I like Fangraphs a little bit too. I do like, MLB Pipeline. I think they do good work. I love the presentation that they have on their sites. But to me, Baseball America, when it comes to scouting, I trust what they have to say. In their latest mock draft, they actually did have Jackson Holliday going #1 overall. Keith Law also had Jackson Holliday going #1. MLB.com, I believe they stuck with Drew Jones at #1. I could be wrong about that. Let me actually see. MLB.com mock draft. They had their final mock draft 19 hours ago. I think they stuck with Drew Jones. Yeah, they stuck with Drew Jones. Both of them, Callis and Mayo, stuck with Drew Jones at #1. And then they both had Jackson Holliday going #2. So they swung and missed on that. But Baseball America did have Jackson Holliday at #1. And Keith Law had him going at #1 as well. But with Jackson Holliday, what you're looking at here, Matt Holliday is his dad. I'm just looking at Jackson Holliday. I'm just looking at some video. Baseball America is also great. I'm just looking at this kid. He just looks like he's going to be a beefy dude, just like his dad. I'm just seeing him, and I'm just thinking he is going to fill out. He's going to be a beast, man. And I really like his swing. Do they not have a swing on here? Are you serious, Baseball America? What the heck are we doing here? You only got him in the field? What are we doing? You have nothing? You have no swings? Oh, what can you do? But Jackson Holliday, he's mostly going to be a shortstop. I think he's going to end up being a really solid player. When you just look at the frame, he looks like he's got like a baby face. He looks just like a young kid, 18 years old. And I'm thinking here, dude, he's going to beef out like his dad. Matt Holliday is just a man amongst men. That dude is just pumping iron every single day. He eats just iron for breakfast with a side of raw eggs. That's how just chiseled Matt Holliday is. And Jackson Holliday, I think, will follow in his footsteps. What I do like about Jackson Holliday, I like the swing. Unfortunately, we didn't see the video there. But he's got a smooth swing from the left side. Great hit tool. He's got power there. It's only going to get better. Very athletic out there. Good in the field. Good arm. he's going to be a really good player. And I think with his dad's pedigree, I think he has all the tools in the world, all the support in the world to develop into a really good player. Look at what the Orioles have done with Gunnar Henderson in their system. I think Jackson Holliday, given maybe 3 to 4 years, I think there's definitely a chance that you could see him in the major leagues at that time. But the Orioles are really, really beefing up that farm system, man. It's only getting better. It's already one of the best farms in the game, and you're adding someone like Jackson Holliday, who's going to be in the next wave of prospects. Are you kidding me? Jackson Holliday, man. Really like what he's got going on. If you take a look here, his tools improved across the board after his offseason in the weight room, and he now shows plus running ability, average or above average power, and plus arm strength. What I like here, it says solid hands and instincts, impressive athleticism, great carry and accuracy on his throws. I think he's just going to be a really good player. He doesn't try to do a whole lot at the plate. He's just got a nice, smooth swing, quick hands, good power. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think this is a win, but I think it does fit into what Mike Elias likes to do. I do think this will be a bit of an underslot deal. If we take a look at slot values for the MLB draft this year, where are we at? Here we go. Baseball America posted it a couple of days ago. The value for the number 1 pick is $8.8 million. I wouldn't be surprised to see Holliday maybe go for like $7.8 to $8 million. I think that's possible. I think the Orioles will end up saving a little money with this pick. That's just kind of what my gut is telling me, because Jackson Holliday was not really viewed as the top guy coming into this draft. So I'm thinking with the Orioles, they're thinking, you know what? You were kind of more projected to be, maybe second or third. So I think they end up signing him somewhere in this range, 7.5 to, 8.2. I think that's where they end up getting him. Now, if it were Drew Jones at number 1, they probably wanted the full slot. So I think with Jackson Holliday, I think they were probably okay to go with a slightly less slot value. So we'll have to wait and see what it ends up being. But knowing Mike Elias, that's what he likes to do at the top of the draft. So moving on here, we did end up having the number 1 player in the draft going number 2, kind of like Marcelo Meyer last year, where he was the number 1 player overall, and he dropped down to number 4 to my Red Sox, who I don't know what's going on with my Red Sox right now, but we got to do something with my Red Sox. I don't know I don't know what's going on. Chris Sale today, I mean, awful. I don't know what to say about Chris Sale. I have no idea. That guy has the worst luck. He is just so prone to getting hurt. I don't get it. And like that one was like something he just could not control today. So he wasn't ripping down any TVs off the wall today. This guy, just a laser shot off of his finger. If you saw his pinky finger, oh my goodness, it was like completely dislocated. It just looked awful. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to get a little worried about my Red Sox right now. They got hammered the last couple of games. I feel like they've lost like 5 straight series now. I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about my Red Sox, and I'm wondering, do they got to sell? I don't know. Maybe do a little bit of both. Buy and sell. Maybe does Bogarts end up going elsewhere? I digress. This is not about the Red Sox. This is about the draft. But Drew Jones. Obviously, there's a ton of upside with Drew Jones here. Taking a look at the scouting report, he is number 1 on Baseball America. The 60 hit, the 55 power. If you're looking at Jackson Holliday, same hitting. They're both around the same hitter, but where Drew Jones sets himself apart is he is already uber impressive out there in the field. 70 runs, 70 fields, 65 arm. That's what sets him apart from someone like Jackson Holliday, and that's why I do think the Orioles will end up saving money on that pick. But Drew Jones was the consensus number 1 overall pick. I think for the Diamondbacks, your farm is only getting better. They got one of the best farms in the game, and now you're adding someone like Drew Jones to the system. Absolutely incredible. They showed the values of the picks right here. I didn't even notice that. I just wasted all that time looking that up. But Drew Jones, man, I think he's going to be awesome. He kind of reminds me of Christian Pache, but with a bit of a better bat as of right now. Obviously, very good out in the field, very fast as well. And I think with Drew Jones, hey, man, He has all the ceiling in the world. I think he could end up being a tremendous player. I think for the Diamondbacks, that's a win. At the Orioles, I think in the end they're going to save a little money signing Jackson Holliday. But for the Diamondbacks, I don't see. I think that works. Maybe they go a little over slot for him just to make sure that he does sign. We'll have to wait and see. But I love the pick for the Diamondbacks. You get a bit of a gift there considering he is the number 1 player. He comes to you at number 2. I did not think Drew Jones was going to go number 1. In my mock draft, I had Brooks Lee going number 1. But I did not think Drew Jones was going number 1. I just feel like it was going to be the Marcelo Mayer effect from last year. Best player. Nah. He's going to go down a little bit. And he did. He went to the Diamondbacks. Now, the story of this first round, I think it has to be Kumar Rocker. Absolutely has to be Kumar Rocker. This it shocked me. It shocked me. I was hoping Kumar Rocker was going to come to my Red Sox. I tweeted out to Jeff Passan, announce Kumar Rocker to my Red Sox. And then like literally 2 minutes later, he got drafted by the Rangers. And he actually tweeted out, I think Jeff Passan tweeted out that he was hearing that Kumar Rocker was going to go really soon in this draft. And here we go. I don't think anyone saw him being in the top 3. I had seen some people saying top 10 possibly. I had definitely seen people saying top 15. Baseball America on their mock draft, they had him going to the Angels. I think Heath Law had him going to the Red Sox, and I think MLB.com in their final mock, where did they have him going? Let's do Control F. Okay, so they did mention, they said here, this could be the ceiling for Kumar Rocker. So, okay, so MLB.com, Callis had the Red Sox taking him. And then Mayo had the Padres taking him in the second round. So no one had him going in the top 3. I think this is amazing. Absolutely amazing that you get to have Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter in the same system again. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's so cool. I love that. That's so cool, man. I love that the Rangers did this. This is an amazing pick to me. Hopefully he stays healthy. But you know what this says for the Rangers? The Rangers want to get back to winning. Soon. They don't want to wait. They don't want to develop. They don't want to draft Jackson Holliday or Drew Jones or even Tarmar Johnson or Elijah Green. They want a stud. They wanted Kumar Rocker. I love it. I love it. And I love it some more. You want to win. You want to get back to the promised land. And you think you can do it with Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. I absolutely love it. I can't express enough how much I enjoyed that pick. It just makes me feel good. It's just a fun pick. It makes sense. It's got a feel-good story to it. Yeah, I love it. Kumar Rocker, man, going to the Texas Rangers. And hey, while a lot of you might be thinking, oh, Kumar Rocker, well, wasn't this guy hurt? What, you know, I don't know, but Kumar Rocker, he's still, obviously, he got picked number 3, but there's a reason he went number 3. He is still one of the best pitchers in this draft. Fastball, ton of velocity. He showed that in the Frontier League. Slider at a 70, extremely good. Still one of the best sliders in the draft. Pretty solid changeup. Okay cutter. He's starting to mix that up, or mix it in a little bit more. Control, you know, for the most part, pretty solid control. This guy, I hope Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker are atop that rotation in Texas in the next 3 years, because that's just fun, man. Those two at Vanderbilt, man, I love that. Absolutely love it. I think this was an absolute winner for the Texas Rangers. You can't go wrong with it, man. I love it. And the Rangers, they're gonna be a scary team in the next couple of years. They're already starting to look pretty good. You know, I don't think they're quite there yet, but they are building, man. And they're gonna be there in the next couple of years. Would not be surprised if you see Rocker and Leiter up next year. And that's all I have to say about it. I absolutely love that pick. I could talk about it all day. But you know what I almost love even more? My favorite player in this draft, Tarmar Johnson, going to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates, I'm going to tell you this right now. Look out for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I am telling you, that farm system that they are building right now, it is absolutely phenomenal. My goodness, you already had a good farm. You had arguably the best farm system in the entire game. You got Henry Davis, who you just drafted number 1 last year. O'Neal Cruz is up, but he's still considered number 2. Don't forget about Nick Gonzalez. They drafted him a couple of years ago. Got some pretty underrated guys in here as well. I do like me some Quinn Priester. Peguero, I think, is pretty underrated. Remember, they've drafted Anthony Solometo last year. They got some nice pieces in this farm system. And now you added Tarmar Johnson. Tarmar Johnson is awesome. He was my favorite player coming into this. I absolutely loved him. I love the bat. I don't care that he plays second base. This guy's bat is going to be like Rafael Devers. Telling you right now. Solid swing from the left side. Great bat speed. Incredible barrel skills. Getting the bat on the ball. I absolutely love it. He can drive the ball with authority. He can hit to all fields. He can drive the ball into gaps. He can drive it over the wall. Incredible hit tool. The fact that he's 18 years old, and he's a young 18. He just recently turned 18 years old. The fact that he has such a good advanced feel for hitting already at this age, that is scary to me. And then he's only going to get bigger. Yeah, he's a small guy, 5'8", 194, but the dude is just a bowling ball of a kid. He's got 60 power already. He's not going to give you a lot of blazing speed. He's going to be fine out in the field. He's going to be a solid second baseman for you. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. Tarmar Johnson, I think, could end up being one of the best players in this draft. There's many times, the number 1 pick doesn't end up being the best player that comes out of this draft, and you look back at it years later. I think Tarmar Johnson could easily be the best player that comes out of this first round. Absolutely. The question is, I know I'm maybe thinking a little ahead right now. It ends up working itself out. I do really like Nick Gonzalez. I think this guy's a gamer. He's struggling a little bit this year in Double-A. He's only hitting 247, but he has a 366 on base. He's not really doing a whole lot when it comes to, home runs, RBIs. But I do like that he's getting on base still. But let's say Nick Gonzalez is doing really well, and let's say Tarmar Johnson 3-4 years from now. What if there's a bit of a log jam there? If Nick Gonzalez is your second baseman, could he end up moving to a different position and Tarmar Johnson ends up coming up and playing second? It says here, the Pirates have been pleased with how much progress Gonzalez has made defensively at second base, benefiting from time with former infield coordinator Jamie Carroll. So it sounds like, Nick Gonzalez, he's a number 3 prospect and he's a second baseman. Could you possibly move Tarmar Johnson over to maybe third base possibly? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like a lot of the scouts as of right now, they have him as a second baseman. I think that's what they'll stick with him at. It says here, it's certainly possible Johnson is selected as a shortstop. Actually, did they put his position? They put shortstop. So they did announce him as a shortstop. I don't know. I'm just saying. So maybe they plan on using him as a shortstop. So we'll have to wait and see. But if he does end up being a second baseman, you do have a bit of a conundrum here with Nick Gonzalez and Tarmar Johnson. But in the end, I absolutely love the pick. He's my favorite player in this draft. The guy's going to be a phenomenal hitter. I think he's going to be an absolute terror in that National League Central down the road. Let's talk about some upside, shall we? We got Elijah Green. I really like this pick. I think Elijah Green, I think he fits well with the Nationals timeline right now. The Nationals, obviously the big story with them right now is Juan Soto. And hey, cheap plug, I did a video on Juan Soto earlier today. Go check it out if you haven't watched it. I had a lot of fun making that video. I went over trades that were submitted by writers with The Athletic. Usually they have no idea what they're talking about, but there are actually some pretty good decent, reasonable offers for Juan Soto in there. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, is a Juan Soto trade, is any offer going to be reasonable? You have to basically give up, both your arms, both your legs, possibly an eyeball to get Juan Soto. But, some of the trades proposed by the writers, they were on the right track with them. There were a couple in there that were just like, you should not be a writer anymore. What are you doing? Stop even talking about baseball. But go check out that video if you haven't. But for the Washington Nationals, while the story may be Juan Soto in, the mainstream media, the story tonight was them picking Elijah Green, who has probably the highest ceiling in this draft. I mean, when you really look at just the raw potential this guy has, look at the power, 70 power and a 70 run. An extremely good athlete, has all the power, man. When he gets into one, it's a pretty scary sight, man. He's already just a big kid. He just has a simple swing. He kind of almost reminds me of Jorge Soler, but I feel like he has the potential to be even better than him, more of a complete player. Whereas Jorge Soler could hit bombs, I think someone like Elijah Green has the potential to hit more for average, get on base better. The one thing with Elijah Green that is holding him back, though, is he tends to chase, he tends to swing and miss, he tends to get beat by fastballs sometimes. But hey, the Nationals, look what they did with Juan Soto. They found Juan Soto at 15 whatever years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, and they ended up turning him into one of the best players. He could end up being one of the best players of all time. So I think for the Nationals, I think it's a great system for Elijah Green to be in. Again, Elijah Green, raw potential. There's some things he needs to clean up, but I think he could end up being the best player overall out of this draft. We'll have to wait and see. I really like Elijah Green, and I think it fits well for the Nationals in their current timeline. If Juan Soto is going to be gone, you got to start fresh, and why not just go with someone that is just extremely has all the potential, a lot of upside. Why not go for it? I like the pick. Here was a pick that I got right in my mock draft. Jacob Berry going to the Miami Marlins. I love it. Jacob Berry, he's not really going to be a defensive kind of a player. He's going to be a great hitter, though. The Marlins, man, they have good pitching in that farm system. They need some bats. And Jacob Berry, man, there is a lot to like with Jacob Berry, man. This guy's switch hitter. He hits well from both sides of the plate. I love Jacob Berry, man. This guy, I think, could end up being just a cornerstone bat for the Miami Marlins for years to come. College player out of LSU. Hits, like I said, extremely well from both sides. Very patient at the plate. Very good with his pitch selection. Very good at deciding when and when not to swing. He's got power from both sides. He has good contact from both sides. Good swing mechanics. Quick hands. Jacob Berry, man. I think I know I've been saying this quite a bit, but I think Jacob Berry could end up being one of the better hitters coming out of this draft. The only problem with Jacob Berry is he's not really going to give you a whole lot when it comes to defense. He's not very fast out there. As you can see here, Baseball America gives him a 35 field, an okay arm. I mean, he could end up playing some first base, but they're saying here he's could end up being a DH. So again, first baseman, DH, maybe at some point he can end up getting some work out in, maybe left field or something like that. But I like the pick of Jacob Berry. I think he's a solid player, but I also like it because I had it in my mock draft. I was actually right on one of them. Let's get to a pretty, I know Kumar Rocker might have been confusing to some people, but this one I think is genuinely, this one kind of confused me a little bit. This one took me a little off guard because when Cade Horton got picked by the Cubs, now, I thought Cade Horton was going to go somewhere in the top 15. I didn't think he was going to go in the top 10. Many people regarded Cade Horton as one of the top pitchers in this draft. If we go to the Baseball America draft rankings, they had Cade Horton at number 23. They had guys like Gabriel Hughes, Robbie Snelling, Kumar Rocker was ahead of him. Obviously, he went number 3. Brandon Barrera, he's at number 17. You got Lesko at number 13. You had Brock Porter at number 12. And but all these guys are high school guys. Well, besides Kumar Rocker. But so if you don't count Rocker, Cade Horton was the well, Hughes is right there at 22, but I've seen other rankings where you have Horton ahead of Hughes. So with Horton, they ranked him as one of the best college pitchers. And, that kind of says to me that the Cubs, they feel like they have a lot of upside already in that farm system of theirs. They got a lot of players that are pretty far away, so they want to try and beef up maybe some more college, or get some more college guys into that system. And, get some guys that are a little more closer to being ready. But with Cade Horton, I'm making it kind of sound pessimistic, but what I like about him, he's got good velocity. He's got a 65 fastball, and he's got one of the best sliders in this draft. Just got tons of downward movement. It's a hard slider. It kind of just disappears on you. So good velocity with the fastball, good slider. The curveball is pretty decent as well. The changeup needs some work, so maybe the Cubs are thinking, okay, we can get that changeup on track. But Cade Horton, what I took from this pick was that the Cubs, they wanted something safe. They wanted to go with a guy out of college. They wanted to shore up their pitching also, but they didn't want to go with a high school pitcher. They wanted to go with a guy who has a bit of a pedigree coming out of Oklahoma. So in a way, it kind of reminds me of Cade Cavalli with the Washington Nationals. It kind of reminds me of him in a way. He also played some quarterback as well. So I don't know. I like the pick. I thought maybe if that were me, I guess if they really wanted to add a pitcher, okay, I guess that's fine. But to me, the guy that I would have gone with here, I would have gone with Brooks Lee. I think the Twins got themselves a gift here. They got Brooks Lee at number 8. That's a fantastic pick. This guy, a lot of people were thinking this guy could be number 1. He was the betting odds favorite to be number 1 coming into this draft. And then that changed today. But they got Brooks Lee at number 8. I love this pick for the Minnesota Twins. Brooks Lee, arguably the best college player coming out of this draft. As of right now, or coming into this draft, you had Brooks Lee at number 2 on Baseball America, and you got him at number 8. What a steal. He's one of the better hitters in this draft. 70 hit. He can hit from both sides of the plate. The power is still coming along, but he has been adding on some strength and some size. He's got a good arm out there. For the most part, should be a pretty decent shortstop. Could he maybe play some second and some third as well? Sure, I definitely think so, but I like that he's a switch hitter. Had really good numbers in college. Brooks Lee, I thought he had the potential to be the number 1 pick. A lot of other people did as well. I think the Twins, man, they got themselves one of the better gifts of this draft. The fact that they got him to slide down all the way to number 8. Absolutely love that. I know MLB.com has him ranked number 5. To me, I trust the Baseball America rankings a little bit more. They had him slide from 2, where they got the second best Baseball America prospect at number 8. I think that's great. Gavin Cross, I think this is an appropriate spot for him with the Kansas City Royals. Kind of just a pretty good all-around player. You gotta like Gavin Cross. I like that he's an athletic guy, and he's just got good hit tool. He's good in the field. There's nothing really to hate about him. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Hey, Robbie, the O's just took Jude Fabian. Ooh, I like that. The Red Sox took Jude Fabian last year, and they couldn't come to an agreement, on a contract. So, look at the Orioles, man. Look at the Orioles. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Good pick. Look at the Orioles, man, just adding some bats in this draft. We'll take a look at round 2 in just a little bit. I'm just reviewing this first round. But Gavin Cross, I think really solid. Very solid. Out of Virginia Tech. Let me pull up his draft report, or his scouting report here. Like I said, pretty solid player. 55 hit. Good power as well. I was curious if he could have been maybe a good fit for the Rockies at Coors Field. He's got more of a power over a hit. But he's a very good hitter, and he's going to be fine out there in the field. 50 run, 50 field, but he has a good arm as well. I like Gavin Cross. I think just an above average player. And for the Kansas City Royals, I think they weren't trying to be cute with this pick. I think in the end, they just went with the best player available. So, you definitely had some other guys on this list, but for my own personal rankings, I preferred Gavin Cross over guys I like Kevin Parada's bat, but the defense is a little suspect. I also like Jace Young, but I personally preferred Gavin Cross because he gives you more of that all-around potential where he can give you a bat and some good defense and some pretty decent speed as well. But I like the pick at number 10, or sorry, number 9 with the Royals getting Gavin Cross. This one was pretty interesting. Gabriel Hughes. We just mentioned Gabriel Hughes a little earlier. He was ranked number 22, so Baseball America thought he was the best college pitcher in this draft. Now, when I'm thinking of the Rockies, I think what the Rockies, when they're picking pitchers, the one thing they need to focus on is a slider. So with Gabriel Hughes, he has a 55 slider. Now, why am I saying slider? Well, at Coors Field, the pitch that has been proven to be the best off-speed pitch is the slider, right? Because of the altitude, the curveballs, they kind of tend to just tumble and they kind of just float up there and then they just get demolished. And fastballs tend to be a little more flat. What else? Sinkers tend to not sink at Coors Field, but sliders, they tend to beat that altitude out there, right? Sliders don't really seem to be affected by Coors Field all that much. So I think that was a big aspect on why they took him. So no surprise to see them take a picture with a slider. He's got pretty decent velocity. This year, he was sticking around 93 to 94. He was touching 97. But also, if you take a look here, his slider flashes wipe out potential at best, but hasn't consistently been a plus pitch this spring. It's a low 80s offering that will get into the mid 80s with 2,300 RPM spin and a whiff rate north of 40. So pretty solid numbers there with the slider. 2,300 RPMs. That's not too shabby if you ask me. Gets over 40% swings. I like it. I think for Gabriel Hughes, I think he can end up being a really solid pitcher for them. I thought he was going to go a little lower in this draft personally. But I don't hate it. I mean, there are some other guys here. I mean, could you have taken someone like a Jace Young? Could you have taken someone like maybe Parada? Could that have been a future catcher for you? And if not, I mean, that power with Kevin Parada, I mean, that's pretty hard to turn down. He was the number 6 overall on Baseball America. I mean, look at this hit tool, 65, 60 power. Even if he didn't end up being a catcher, he has improved, but there's still a lot of work to do. Could you imagine Kevin Parada's bat at Coors Field? I mean, I thought that was, there's a lot to like with that. There were some other guys here where, who have some pretty decent sliders. Brock Porter had a 55 slider. You have Dylan Lesko as well. No, Dylan Lesko doesn't have a slider. I'm sorry. Who is the other guy that has a slider in this draft? I think it was out of Alabama. I'm going blank on his name. No, I'm going blank on his name. Going blank on the name. I'm gonna have to look it up. Where is it? Connor Priel about Alabama. Alabama has a 70 slider. I thought he could have been an interesting pick for the Rockies. He is ranked 37, but this was a guy who was regarded as a top 10 pick at one point. And then he ended up having to get Tommy John. I thought he could have been an interesting one. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if he has been picked. We are right in the middle of the second round right now, but I don't know if he has been picked yet or not. Has he been picked? I'm talking first round right now, so I don't want to look at the second round right now. But that could have been interesting. Could have been a bit of a reach, but I think for the end, the Rockies getting Gabriel Hughes, I think it's fine. I think I would not have taken Hughes in this spot. I don't know. For me, I would have gone with someone like a Jace Young. That guy's just a phenomenal hitter. But anyway, moving on here. Speaking of Kevin Parada, I think the Mets, hey, man, you're getting yourself, if he ends up not being a catcher, this guy's one of the better hitters in the draft. Really like Kevin Parada. I thought he could have gone top 10. Ended up just falling out of the top 10 at number 11. But I do really like me some Parada. The dude is just beefy. up there. That dude has such a good hit tool, good power. He had good numbers in college. There's a lot to like about Kevin Parada. I like that pick for the Mets. And let me actually jump ahead a little bit because the Mets ended up having almost back-to-back picks. They had a pick at 11 and 14. I did have the Mets picking Jett Williams in my mock draft at number 14, so they were really connected with Jett Williams. They were doing a lot of scouting on him, and they ended up picking him. That's the route I thought they were going to take. But Jett Williams, man, I really like a lot of him with, coming out of high school. Just a really hard-nosed kind of a player. He's a smaller player, almost kind of reminds me of a Dustin Pedroia. Has that bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he's just all around a really good player. 55 hit, 50 power, very athletic. He's got a 60 run, 55 in the field, 50 arm. There's just a lot to like about him. He can play short, he can go out in the outfield. He's kind of one of these hard-nosed, smaller players. I love that. I love when these guys, 5'8", 5'10", whatever in that range, they're just good ball players, man. I think Jett Williams is going to be a good ball player for the Mets. I like the two guys that they got, Kevin Parada and Jett Williams. They didn't try to be cute with any of these picks. They didn't try to do any kind of a reach. Sure, maybe Jett Williams was a bit of a reach, but I think he was a good reach. There's a lot to like about him. I think for the Mets, I would have liked for them to maybe add a pitcher. I think Dylan Lesko could have been a pretty fun pick, but in the end, they walk away with two pretty good offensive players who could end up being really good for you down the road. Let's go back here. Jace Young at number 12. Jace Young is simply put one of the best hitters in this draft. He is ranked top 10 in Baseball America, 60 hit, 60 power. Got a bit of a funky way of how he holds the bat. He kind of points it to the backstop. So definitely different with his hitting style. But when it comes to Jace Young, that's really all you're getting. Very good hitting. He's only got a 40 run, a 45 field. He's got an okay arm, so most likely he's going to end up being a second baseman, but I think with how well he hit in college, he had just very good numbers, and he walks a ton too. He has very good plate discipline. I like this pick for the Detroit Tigers. I thought he was going to go higher in this. I thought the Rockies would have been a really good fit for him, but in the end, I think for the Tigers, you just added yourself. You got a bit of a gift there. I think they saw that he was there, and they said, okay, sweet, we're taking Jace Young. This guy's a really good player. All right, fine. Royals, Rockies, Mets, if you don't want to take Jace Young, we're going to take him if you're not going to take him. So really good pick for the Tigers there. And Zach Nato at number 13 for the Angels. Hey, man, they went all pictures last year, and now you went with a shortstop. I like it. I think he's a really solid player. I think Zach Nato is one of the more underrated players in this game. He's ranked number 16 on Baseball America. Just all around really good player. 55 hit, 55 power, 55 run, 50 field, 60 arm. Could this be your shortstop of the future? They haven't really been able to produce any kind of a shortstop for what feels like forever. But maybe Zach Nato can end up being that guy for you down the road. We already talked about Jett Williams. I got this pick right as well. In my mock draft, I went with Dylan Lesko to the Padres at number 15. That's where it ended up. That's what ended up happening. Dylan Lesko was regarded as the best pitcher coming into this draft. He ended up having to get Tommy John. That decreased his value a little bit. So the Padres, I did not think he was going to fall past the Padres. There's no way. I think for the Padres, getting Dylan Lesko, absolute steal. Absolutely love it. My goodness, man. What a man. He's so good. Where is he? I'm trying to find him. Here's Dylan Lesko. Let's pull up some videos, shall we? Man, oh man. I mean, there's just so much to like. A bit of an aggressive delivery, but it's also smooth at the same time. Dude's just got really good arm action. Just throws hard, man. He's throwing the upper 90s. He's got probably the best changeup in this entire draft. Man, oh man, there's just so much to like with him. He gets comparisons to Josh Beckett a lot, where, Jaden Caster, 199 Super Chat at 52nd. Mets took Blake Tidwell. Ooh, I like that pick. I had Blake Tidwell going in the first round, and wow, for the Mets to get that pick, that is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Jaden, for the $1.99 Super Chat. But Dylan Lesko, he gets a lot of comparisons to Josh Beckett because he has really good velocity. He's got a good curveball, but his changeup is his bread and butter. Very similar to Josh Beckett. Good control as well, I think, for the Padres. Absolute steal. The guy had Tommy John. I mean, what else could you want, man? I mean, he's just fantastic. So, I do like the pick of the Guardians of Chase DeLauder. I think this guy, he ended up breaking his foot not too long ago, so that decreased his value as well. But he really above average hitter, man. Coming out of James Madison University, very good plate discipline. He walked more than he struck out last year. The dude just makes extremely good contact. He's got good power, very good bat to ball skills. Let's take a look here. 55 hits, 60 power, but he's also very athletic as well. 60 run, 55 field, 60 arm. I think he could end up being one of the more solid players out of this draft, just simply because he's just a very athletic guy. I mean, look at this guy. He's 6'4", weighs 235. This dude's a beast. That's like a linebacker right there. Are you kidding me? Just a lot to like. I mean, look at what he was doing here last year. Hitting 437 with a 576 on base and 828 slugging with 8 homers. He had more walks and strikeouts like I just mentioned. And those were his numbers with Duke before he broke his foot. So the dude is just a machine. I think he ends up being a really good player. And I think for the Guardians, man, good for them taking him. I mean, this is a guy, to me, when you look at his scouting report, he sounds like a top 10 guy. And you got him at number 16. That's awesome. How about we talked about, hey, man, talking about Jackson Holliday going number 1 overall. You got Drew Jones. Those guys had dads who were extremely good players in the game. And now you got Justin Crawford, son of Carl Crawford, going to the Phillies. Hey, man, I like it. The Phillies getting a very high ceiling player in Justin Crawford. When you think of Carl Crawford, you think of speed, contact. Justin Crawford is that. I think he could end up having more power than his father had. Pulling up Justin Crawford, he's number 18 on Baseball America. I mean, taking a look here, going up against a lefty. Hey, man, just slapping it out there, just looking like Carl Crawford up there, man. I mean, look at this. He's just like Carl Crawford. He's just able to get the bat on the ball, man. That's what Carl Crawford was like. Just a annoying hitter, man. Even if he just chops it into the ground, he's got tons of speed where he can beat this stuff out. But I think there's still some things that you could work on with the swing where you can kind of smooth it out a little bit, but you maybe just add a little bit more power there. But I think with Justin Crawford, there's so much potential. The 70 run, just the athleticism was what I love. He's good in the field. He's got an okay arm. He really just sounds like his dad. I mean, when you look at the scouting report, when you look at those tools, that just sounds like Carl Crawford. So, hey, man, if you're getting Carl Crawford here, I think for the Phillies, that's fantastic for years to come. I think he ends up being a really good player. At number 18, this one was a bit of a shocker to me. And Cincinnati Reds fans, I think you're going to reap all the benefits of Cam Collier. I can't believe he fell, because there were reports of Cam Collier maybe even going in the top 5 at one point. There were reports out there that the Pirates were really scouting him very heavily. Man, Cam Collier all the way to the Reds. Dude, there's a lot to like about this guy. If you look, he's ranked number 7 on Baseball America. Look at the all-around game besides the run. Not really too much of a run tool. But he left high school early to go play at Chipola in Florida, their junior college. 60 hit, 55 power, 50 field, 65 arm. Sounds like a third baseman. But he's an extremely young player. He's not even 18 years old yet. He's still in his 17s. He's 6'1", 219 pounds. What the heck is going on with this kid? He's a freak. But man, Cam Collier, I wonder... This is going to be interesting. I wonder, unless they have said it somewhere and I've missed it, I wonder if he ends up going to Louisville. I wonder if he bets on himself. You know, I wonder that. Because, I mean, I think can he go to Louisville? I guess he could transfer there. I don't know what the rules are exactly. I would think he could transfer there, right? But if he could, I wonder if he ends up maybe betting on himself. And then, you know, going to play another year of college, and then he can end up being a top 10 player next year, and he can end up, you know, getting a few more $1 million out of it. That's going to be an interesting one. I feel like, you know, when he get drafted in the first round, good chance you end up signing, but I wonder if he sticks with the Reds. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but Cam Collier, man, there's a lot to like about him. I think he's a freak. the dude has all the potential in the world. I thought he was going to go top 5. So I had him at number 4 to the Pirates. But number 19, Daniel Shusack. With Shusack, there is a lot to like about him. As of right now in Baseball America, he's ranked number 11. With Shusack, he was really good in the first half of the season last year, and then he died off in the second half. He was really getting beat by just good fastballs out there. When they started playing against better competition, you started seeing him wane a little bit. Again, a lot more strikeouts were happening in the second half. There is some mechanical things in his swing where, you know, it kind of creates a lot of swing and miss. But he did show a lot of potential last year. 55 hit, 55 power. Those are pretty solid. And he's still a work in progress when it comes to the catching position. He's not bad by any means, but he's got a 50 field. He's got a good arm. But Shusack, I had read that there were some talks of maybe him falling in this draft, while there were some other talks of him possibly maybe even being in the top 10. But I think, you know, he kind of falls around the middle, ends up going number 19 to the Oakland A's. Hey, man, I think why not? I mean, I know you got Shea Langeliers, but hey, Shusack, hey, they probably just thought he was the best available. Jimmy Productions, $1.99. What do you think about the Nationals pick? Yeah, I talked about it earlier. I think Elijah Green, man. I think with where the Nationals are at right now, all the potential in the world with Elijah Green, I think it was a good ad to go for a high ceiling kind of a player. Could Elijah Green, if you end up getting rid of Juan Soto, could Elijah Green end up being your next Juan Soto? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but he is that good. He could end up being that good. I like it for the Nationals. Why not? Go for it. You know, see what happens. And I think he ends up being a good player. Ton of upside. They're going to have to work on the swing and miss with him. I love a lot about his game, man. I really do. I think he could end up being really good. But overall, I like the pick for the Nationals. Jimmy Productions, thank you so much for that. We have another super chat coming in. Chris Raskin, thoughts on Brock Porter still being available? So is he still available? Is he still available here? I haven't looked at the second round yet. But is he available? Yeah. That's crazy. I wonder what the deal is. He's ranked number 11 on Pipeline. He's 12 on Baseball America. I wonder what the problem is. I wonder if there's like a bit of an injury or something. Is there some concerns? What's going on with him? I wonder why. I mean, is there any talk, any like reports on him in the Twitter world? So, or are they? Is he committed to? Is he like fully committed to going to Clemson? I don't know. I mean, there's not really. I don't know. I mean, he hasn't gone yet. You got to think he's going. You got to think he's going to Clemson right now, right? I mean, they're in the second round. He hasn't been picked. I mean, this guy's got to be going. Has to be. He has to be. I don't see how you don't. But, man, if he ends up going to Clemson, look out for them next year, man. Look out for them. I mean, looking at Brock Porter, there's a lot to like. I thought the Mets would take him, but they were probably worried about the signability. They're probably worried about the signability. I mean, they were probably thinking Porter's asking for big money, and or he was just going to go to Clemson. So maybe that scared off some teams. That's what I think it probably ends up being. Just, could you sign this guy? I don't know. But Jimmy Productions, another super chat coming in. The Red Sox drafted my cousin's friend from Liberty High School. I'm going to get to the second round in just a little bit. Jimmy Productions, thank you so much. I will take a look at that when I get to the second round. Let me just finish up here with the first round. I'm going to run through these last 10 picks. With the Braves, we got Owen Murphy. A bit of a reach here, but that's not surprising with the Atlanta Braves. They have reached before. They have, even with their first round picks, they have definitely reached, man. They like to do those underslot deals as well. But if you look at the Braves, man, they produce some really good players. So we have Owen Murphy. Where do they have him? Here he's number 45 on Baseball America. I mean, when you look at Owen Murphy, I mean, look at what he's got going on here. Look at what he's got going on. 55 fastball, 60 curveball, 50 changeup, 50 cutter, 55 control. He's got 4 pitches that he works with. He's 18 years old. He's committed to go to Notre Dame. So obviously the Braves really like him a lot. If we take a look here, Murphy uses a simple delivery that gains momentum as he progresses. With a loose, quick take back, he releases his pitches from a 3/4 slot, landing on line with good extension over his front side. The product out of his hand is live. I always love reading that when the fastball has good life. That's always nice. You don't have to throw the hardest, but if you got good spin on that fastball, if you got a good feel for those pitches, man, it ends up, you don't need to throw hard. So Owen Murphy, it sounds like the Braves really liked what was going on there. So, and it's no surprise with the Braves. They've gone under slot before where they've definitely reached. So at number 21, we had Cole Young. At one point, I did think about having the Mariners go after Cole Young. I thought he would go a little higher in this draft. At one point, I thought maybe the Tigers could take Cole Young. I had the Reds taking Cole Young. But for the Mariners, I actually did have the Mariners going with Zach Nato. And but instead, they go with a shortstop out of high school. Cole Young is just a really solid player overall. Just has a lot of good tools. He's not really extremely good in one particular thing. Just all around, kind of reminds me of Jeter Downs, where he's kind of, his scouting report, he was kind of just good at everything. So that's what I think about Cole Young. Overall, solid pick for the Mariners. One of my favorite players in this draft, Cooper Jerpi. I am so annoyed that the Cardinals picked Cooper Jerpi 2 picks before the Red Sox came up, man. Are you kidding me? I hated that. Cooper Jerpi reminds me of Chris Sale. Oh, man, I hope Chris Sale's back this year, man. Please get back soon. But Cooper Jerpi really has a lot of similarities to Chris Sale with how he throws. The Lonely Wolf that howls alone at the moon. The Braves have drafted 3 high school pitchers. For the Braves, man, hey, just trying to load up on some pitching, huh? You got to love it. They got some pretty good position players in that system. And I think, hey, man, for the Atlanta Braves, they're just trying to load up on some upside with the pitching. I love it. I think that's a good move from the Braves. So taking a look here. Cooper Jerpi, there's just a lot to like about him. On Baseball America, he's ranked 33. I had a feeling he was going to go in this first round, even though he was ranked, 30 and below in a lot of rankings. I thought he was going to go higher than that. But good fastball. He's got good life on the fastball. Good changeup, good slider, really good control. He pinpoints very nicely. I like Cooper Jerpi a lot. And I think he's just a gamer, man. He's just a bulldog out there. He likes to come at you, coming out of Oregon State. He was a competitor, man. I think the Cardinals got themselves a really nice pick with Cooper Jerpi. They went with Michael McGreevy last year, and now you got Cooper Jerpi. Hey, you got some pretty good pitching in this system right now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Jimmy Productions, when I'm a general manager, I'm going to send the person I draft right to the major leagues. I mean, hey, hopefully you can just pick a good enough player, man. Hopefully just pick a good enough player for them to be able to handle it. I mean, I think you don't see that a lot. I don't see that ever. I think the one guy you can think of, Garrett Crochet, with the White Sox, he ended up basically just skipping the minor leagues and he just went right to the show. So it has happened. It's very rare that you see it happen. So, but could Kumar Rocker end up being that guy? Could the Rangers just be like, you know what? Let's just go to the major leagues. Let's go. You're going to be in our rotation this year. That would be awesome. Could you imagine that? Probably won't happen, but Cooper Jerpi, really like that pick for the Cardinals. Brandon Barrera, one of the more solid high school pitchers coming out of this draft. Lefty, got pretty good stuff. If we take a look, he's ranked number 17 on Baseball America. 60 fastball, 60 slider, 50 changeup. Curveball needs some work. Control is pretty good at 55. There's not a whole lot about Brandon Barrera. He's pretty simple with his delivery. Got a pretty easy, fluid motion, a repeatable delivery. I think for the Blue Jays, man, hey, you're just stocking up on some good upside pitching here. I think Brandon Barrera, I don't think he's going to be anything like crazy. I think he could end up being a really solid player, really solid pitcher. I like it for the Blue Jays. I think overall just a really good pick. Who the heck is Mikey Romero? What is going on here? This is a Heim Bloom kind of a move, man. Mikey Romero. Where is he on Baseball America. I think he's in the 50s. Mikey Romero, where he is, 54. At a Lutheran high school in California. Hyde Bloom, he likes to go out there in California. That's where he ended up getting Nick York. He went out and scouted him in California. Now you got Mikey Romero. I mean, hey, when you're looking at the scouting report, I like the hit tool. I like that. And he's fine in the field. Shortstop. It's just an interesting reach. With Nick York, the one thing about Nick York is he just had a really good feel for hitting at such a young age, just such an advanced hitter already. But Mikey Romero shows some similar traits. If we take a look here, Romero has Romero has a pretty natural left-handed swing and an advanced feel for hitting. What did I just say with Nick York? That's what Hyde Bloom likes to look for when it comes to his offensive players, a natural feel for hitting. He identifies pitches well and frequently gets the barrel to the ball to make consistent contact, including against high-end velocity and quality breaking stuff. Though Romero makes lots of contact, it's often soft contact. He has a slender build and lacks the strength to do damage even when he squares balls up. He needs to make a substantial strength gain to reach his potential as an above-average hitter with below-average power. They say here he's an instinctive defender at shortstop. Is this Nick York 2.0? This sounds like Nick York. I mean, almost the same exact scouting report. We got some video here on Mikey Romero. I mean, he's got good bat speed. I like the swing. I do like this swing a lot. So if we're looking here, he's got really good bat speed. He's not making a whole lot of contact. But that looked pretty nice. Got some pretty decent speed. I think he'd end up being a solid player. He reminds me of Nick York in a way. It's kind of weird, right? He's almost Nick York 2.0. They're not showing a whole lot of contact here with him. Last swing. I mean, that looked pretty good. I mean, they're showing just a lot of foul balls. That looked good. Or was that a ground out? No, that was a base hit. So, hey, Mikey Romero, man. To me, he looks like Nick York from the left side. So, I don't mind it. I don't mind the pick, but I think at this point, it almost just seemed like, I don't know. There were some other guys here. I do really like Drew Gilbert. That kind of stinks, man. Like seeing that he went there. I really liked him coming out of Tennessee. If we were to take a look at some guys here. Actually, do they show any guys that are still undrafted? Oh, here we go. I mean, you had Brock Porter sitting there. But again, is there signability issues with him? So, well, this is actually as of right now. So, I'm guessing a lot of those guys that were ranked higher, they obviously have been drafted. But that could have been pretty cool. You had Brock Porter sitting there. And, didn't take him. I mean, I don't know. He went the Nick York route from a couple of years ago. So, we got a lot of infielders in this system right now. A ton of infielders. So, you got Nick York from a couple of years ago. You got Marcelo Mayer from last year. And now you got Mikey Romero. So 3 straight years, your number one pick has been an infielder, either at second or short. So I guess I like it, but I don't know. It's whatever. I'm not like enamored with it. If it was Brock Porter, I would have absolutely went insane. I would have loved that. But for the Yankees, Spencer Jones has basically, it's funny that they're drafting Spencer Jones because Aaron Judge could be on his way out, and Spencer Jones is basically Aaron Judge, just not as good of a hitter. Spencer Jones is huge. He's 6'7", 225. He's got a 60 power as of right now. He's got really good athleticism as well. 55 run, 55 field. The hit tool needs a little work. He's got swing and miss in his game. But he was really good in the Cape Cod League where you use wood bats. He hit 312 with a 424 on base, a 481 slugging, 21 games. But he did strike out a lot. So that's one thing with Spencer Jones out of Vanderbilt. There's a lot of power with him, but there's just a lot of strikeouts as well. Going to the Yankees, I actually love the pick because it's basically based on the size alone, it's Aaron Judge from the left side. So JM1231, we have a super chat here. Absolutely love the Walter Ford pick for my M's. I'm not there yet in the second round. I'm very close. Let me just get through these next 5, and then I'm going to roll through the second round just a little bit. Noah Schultz. Noah Schultz, I think, is an underrated, one of the more underrated pitchers in this draft. There were some rumors out there that he could go in the first round. He was ranked number 49 on MLB Pipeline. But Noah Schultz is number 51 on Baseball America. He's huge. He's 6'9", 225. Man, oh man. Big fastball, pretty decent slider. He just doesn't have a lot of stuff, but he's got a lot of build. And Noah Schultz, man, I think he's a really interesting one going to the Chicago White Sox. Could end up, if they could work with that big frame of his, oh boy, he can end up turning into something really good. Eric Brown Jr., I thought was one of the more underrated players in this game, going to the Milwaukee Brewers. Shortstop prospect out of Coastal Carolina. Eric Brown Jr., man, I was just talking about this the other night because someone asked me who could be, an underrated player. Where is he? Eric Brown. He might have been in the 50s. Here he is, number 55. So, just an all-around pretty good player. 50 hit, 50 power, 55 run, 50 in the field, 50 with the arm. I think there's a lot to like with him. Just a pretty solid player out of Coastal Carolina. There's some things out there where he gets comparisons to Craig Counsell, which is pretty funny because of the way that he kind of has his hands and his body. He has definitely a different batting stance, but that's pretty funny that the Milwaukee Brewers drafted him because, hey, Craig Counsell. But he had his best season last year. He hit .330 with a .460 on base and a .544 slugging, 7 homers, 19 doubles. He walked more than he struck out. Hey, pretty funny. He gets those Craig Counsell comparisons, and now he's going to the Brewers. Drew Gilbert to the Astros. Really like Drew Gilbert. There's a lot to like about him. I had him going to the Toronto Blue Jays in my draft. But Drew Gilbert, I mean, look at this guy. This guy's all around just really good. 55 hit, 50 power. Sure, could add a little bit more with the bat there, but he's very athletic. 55 run. He's got a 55 field, 60 arm. Had more walks than strikeouts last year. Really like that. Last year, he hit .380 with a .474 on base and a .696 slugging. 10 homers, 20 doubles. Coming out of Tennessee. Winning team last year, maybe a little more on the smaller side, 5'9", 185, but he just seems like a really good player. And I think for the Astros, great pick. Look at the Rays, man. Whoa. The Rays really reached here. Really reached. At number 29, they went with the 113th ranked Xavier Isaac. Holy cow, what the heck is going on here? I have not looked at his scouting report. I'm not going to be messing around with you at all. That is not a player that I have looked up. Let's take a look at who he is. He's number 92 on Baseball America. Oh, I see why. I see why the Rays are picking him, because he has a 65 power tool and he is 6'4", weighs 240 pounds at 18 years old. This dude is a beast. Are you kidding me? Monstrous raw power and bat speed. You know who that reminds me of? Joshua Baez, who went to the St. Louis Cardinals last year. This is almost the exact same guy. Huge power. Big dude. I like it, man. I like the aggressive pick from the Rays. Love this, man. 65 power. The only thing that he's got to work on is simply just the hit tool. It says here, he hits towering home runs to all fields in batting practice, to the point where scouts don't seem to hesitate when grading him out with 80 raw power. Isaac is bound to be a polarizing prospect in the industry. Of course the Rays would pick him. Sounds like a Rays thing to do. More conservative teams relying on that history to get more confidence in Isaac's hit tool might be more willing to let him get to campus at Florida and prove his hitting ability. But yeah, they don't really talk much about like what is going on with this hit tool. They just talk a lot about his power. They don't really say like what's going on with his hit. I mean, do they say it over here? He has no track record of at-bats against quality pitching. Okay. But again, they just talk about the power. Does a good job of focusing on hard contact rather than selling out for home runs that will come naturally. Well, that's a good thing. So, power, 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 man. He also had a foot injury, so that looks like that affected his value as well. But, I mean, hey, man. I love it for the Rays. I like the aggressive pick. We had a couple of Super Chats coming in. Jimmy Productions. Jack Leiter reminds me of Jack Flaherty. I can see that comparison. I can definitely see that, Jimmy. Robert Wagner. Thoughts on Owen Murphy and the Giants getting Crawford? Both is there any more in the draft? Do you know? Well, let's take a look here. I was just about to talk about Crawford. He's the last one here in the first round. Reggie Crawford, a bit of a reach. But what I like with Reggie Crawford is he's got some athleticism. So let's go take a look at this. He's number 59 on Baseball America. So with Reggie Crawford, I'm talking about athleticism. I'm thinking Justin Crawford. I'm sorry. Reggie Crawford, the pitcher out of Connecticut, left-handed pitcher. I mean, there's a lot to work with here with Reggie Crawford. You got a 6'4" frame. He's 235 pounds. I mean, granted, yeah, he's coming out of college, but that's a big frame, man. You can just work with that kind of a frame. He's got good velocity, 70 fastball, good slider as well. We got to work on that third pitch, a 40 changeup. Got to work on the control a little bit. So, but with the San Francisco Giants, I mean, they have worked with these, pitchers in the past where they can see things that are wrong, maybe mechanically. They can go in the lab. They can work on these things. They can help him with his changeup, add another pitch possibly, help him with the control, help him with his mechanics. It sounds like a good fit if you ask me, because the San Francisco Giants, they work wonders with some of these guys that need help with tinkering some things. And with Reggie Crawford, with such a big frame, 6'4", 235. I mean, there's a lot to work with right there. I like the pick. I think, hey, for the Giants, I like the aggressiveness here towards the back end. Usually you tend to see teams go a little more safe in the last 10 picks, but I like the aggressiveness. I like the Red Sox getting Mikey Romero. I mean, they reached for him. The Yankees reaching with Spencer Jones. The White Sox reaching with Noah Schultz. The Brewers reaching with Eric Brown Jr. The Rays extremely reaching with Xavier Isaac. And then the Giants reaching with Reggie Crawford. I like the aggressiveness at the back end of this first round. Overall, this first round, it was kind of a weird first round. Overall, Kumar Rocker going number 3. You saw Cade Horton, I thought went a little high. Brooks Lee, I thought went a little low. Gabriel Hughes, I think went a little high. I would have liked to have seen the Mets go with a pitcher. Here's what I'm wondering with the Mets. I wonder if maybe they were looking at Brock Porter or maybe even Dylan Lesko, but maybe maybe more Brock Porter. Maybe they thought there was something going on there signability-wise, so they went with just the best player available and a Kevin Parada. I wonder if that's what ended up happening, because Brock Porter seemed like he would have been a pretty good fit there. I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes out of Brock Porter's camp, why he didn't go in the first round. I love Dylan Lesko at number 15 to the Padres. I think Cam Collier, that's going to be an interesting situation. Does he end up signing with the Reds? Could he end up going, back to college? I have to wait and see on that. I love Cooper Jerpi for the Cardinals. I think for my Red Sox, I don't know. It could end up being a really good player for the Red Sox, but when I'm looking at it now, I liked the Nick York pick more than this pick. I liked the Nick York pick, but now I'm seeing this kind of a pick again, and I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I know you don't necessarily, all these players are going to end up coming up and, you know, being players for you. They could always be trade bait as well. But, you know, I don't know. I just feel a little underwhelmed with it. I think Spencer Jones could end up being a beast for the Yankees down the road. I love the aggressiveness of the Xavier Isaac pick. I love that. But let's go take a look at the second round here. Here we go. Round 2. Actually, they did the compensation. Oh, Sterling Thompson going to the Rockies. I like Sterling Thompson. He's actually, let's take a look here. Here we go. Sterling Crawford. I believe he was number 28 on Baseball America. 29. I was just off. But Sterling Thompson, he's got a pretty good hit tool, 50 power. Good arm out there, out of Florida. I think he ends up being an all right player. He has the potential. The Reds did a bit of a reach here. Sal Stewart, third base prospect coming out of high school in Florida. Let's take a look here. Sal Stewart. I have not looked at his stuff. Sal. He's number 58 on Baseball America. I mean, take a look at the hit. 55 hit and 60 power. That's pretty good. 55 arm. Let's take a look at the video. Okay, can't really see. A pretty good looking swing here. Pretty nice, simple looking swing. Oh, I like the follow through. I like that follow through. Good follow through, strong. Sal Stewart can end up being really solid. Here we go. We got a couple more super chats coming in. But Robert Wagner, thoughts on Owen Murphy and the Giants getting Crawford? Yeah, Owen Murphy, I did like. Well, let me go back. I'm sorry. I didn't finish up that question. Yeah, Owen Murphy. I like that for the Braves. I like just them adding some pitching. That's like a Braves style, you know, kind of a move. I thought that was pretty good for the Braves. They tend to reach, so I'm not surprised about that. They've definitely reached before. Owen Murphy's just a pretty good all-around guy, man. I think he ends up having a chance at being a pretty good pitcher for the Braves. And yeah, is there any more in the draft? Do you know? I mean, I'm catching up here, so I'm looking at the second round now. E-Rock TV, we got Jerpi. Ugh, I am disgusted. I wish the Red Sox got him. Braves going to let Owen Murphy be a two-way player. Oh, is he a two-way player? I didn't notice that. Hold on, let me pull him up here. Murphy. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I was just looking at his stuff here. So, yeah, wow, I'm an idiot. It says it right here, two-way player. I didn't look too much at his stuff, but two-way player. He was a star on the gridiron as well. So we already talked about his pitching. Let's talk about his offense. We talk more about his pitching. It only talks about his pitching. Athletic, high spin. Huh. They're not saying anything about his offense, so maybe they thought he was just going to be a pitcher. So I don't really have anything on his offense, but hey, man, let's get more two-way players in this game. I'm all about it. But let's go to round 2. Let's go back to it. We did the compensation round. Let's do competitive balance round A. Ooh, Dylan Beavers. Yeah, we mentioned, I had the super chat earlier. Dylan Beavers going to the Orioles. I like Dylan Beavers, man. Lots of like with him out of California. Beavers is awesome. I thought he could have had a chance to maybe go to the Giants at the back end. Beavers. I think he's number 30 or like somewhere 30, 35. Or was he 40? Where did he go? Beavers. Oh, he was 26. That's right. What I like about Beavers, he's got a 40 hit, 60 power. He's a power over hit guy. So they got some work to do with the hit tool, but he's an athletic guy, 60 run, 55 field, 60 arm. I think Dylan Beavers is really solid. Landon Sims, I think just a pretty solid picture in this draft. I think there's more upside with Landon Sims. Let's pull him up here. He's number 35. I mean, the thing with Landon Sims, tons of velocity, big slider, but that's really all you have. You got to add more to this. He's a big guy, 6'2", 227. Robert Wagner, Giants got a two-way as well. Who's the two-way player that they got? Again, I'm catching up here. I'm only on the first round. Oh, Reggie Crawford is a two-way player. Oh, I didn't know that. Reggie Crawford. Oh, hold on. Wait, where was Reggie Crawford? He was in the 70s. Oh, where did he go? Reggie Crawford. There he is. It only says left-handed pitcher right here. Crawford is one of the biggest wild cards in the draft. Crawford was one of the first of many pitchers in the class to have Tommy John. Already had the operation, so that's good. Played in the Cape Cod League. Sat in the mid-90s, touched 99 plus slider. So we already talked about that. Good fastball, good slider. They don't talk about his offense. He also, okay, never mind. It says he played first base. Okay. Hit 14 home runs for the Huskies. Strongly built. Scouts giving him above average raw power. High octane stuff from the left side. Has teams preferring him on the mound. I mean, again, I'm all about these guys. Dude, if we can get more two-way players in this game, I'm all about it. Man, let's do it. Get more of these guys. Absolutely. All right, let's run through. Let's get back to the competitive balance round. We have J.R. Hickshey going to the Braves. High school pitcher. Thomas Harrington, Justin Campbell. Jordan Beck going to the Rockies. I like that. Jordan Beck. He's a little more of a power kind of a guy. I like that for the Rockies. Robbie Snelling going to the Padres. Hey, look at the Padres picking up Dylan Lesko and Robbie Snelling. He was ranked number 16. That's not bad for the San Diego Padres. I like that for the Padres. Starting to build up on their pitching. Let's take a look at round 2. It looks like round 2 is over. They're not doing round 3, are they? So you did competitive balance round. So, oh, wow. They've already done so many picks. Are they in round 3? Okay, so, all right. We got a little bit here. Round 2. Yeah, okay. So round 2. Connor Priel going to the Twins. I like that for Connor Priel. I like that for the Twins. They can end up getting a big steal right there. Any other big? We talked about the Mets earlier with Blade Tidwell. I think that's a very good pick. Good value pick there. Oh, Henry Boldy going to the A's. I like that. I like that. Henry Boldy. He's got a lot of upside here. I like that. Peyton Pallett going to the White Sox. I heard his name possibly in the first round at times. Carson Wisenhunt. I heard his name on some. I read his name on some mock drafts. He ended up going number 66 to the Giants. So a lot of people thought he had a chance to go in the first round. So I like that. For the Red Sox, I don't think they didn't have. Oh yeah, no, they had Cutter Coffee. I have not read about Cutter Coffee, but look at that. What a reach for Chaim Bloom. Pick 41. You're going with a 105th ranked player. Cutter Coffee. Who the heck is Cutter Coffee? Let's take a look here. Here we go. Last summer on the showcase circuit, Coffee emerged as an intriguing two-way prospect. One with power at the plate and on the mound. Oh, we got a little two-way player here. He's continued to garner a lot of attention in an area that's not always easy to get to. Most of the focus has been on his skills as a hitter. While he'll still pitch, does appear his future's in the batter's box. Little inconsistent, right-handed hitter, showing the ability to make loud contact with excellent raw power to tap into. Is this another Blaze Jordan? I mean, is it me, or does this feel like the 2020 draft? Is that me? I mean, you got Nick York and Blaze Jordan in 2020, and now you got Mikey Romero and then Cutter Coffee. Is this the same blueprint? Or am I just nuts? Right-handed hitter, loud contact, excellent raw power. I don't know. It sounds like Blaze Jordan. He recognizes spin well, especially for a young player, but can get beat up in the zone. Is that not Blaze Jordan? I swear on my life that is Blaze Jordan's scouting report. Is this Blaze Jordan's scouting report under Cutter Coffee? I love the name, by the way. Cutter Coffee. Up next, batting third, Cutter Coffee. I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, that is Blaze Jordan's scouting report. I swear. That is Blaze Jordan. I think they copy-pasted it. That's because Blaze Jordan had the same problem with high fastballs. Some moving parts to his swing, making it tougher for him to catch up the velocity up in the zone. Fairly athletic and physical. That's one difference with Cutter Coffee, is he more of a athletic kind of a guy, whereas Blaze Jordan, a little less athletic out there, first base, third base. But hey, I like it. Right-handed bat with raw power. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. Howard, I was thinking the same thing. Cutter Crawford related to Cutter Coffee related to Cutter Crawford. I thought that's when I read Cutter. I was like, oh, interesting. But taking a look at some of these other guys, no other names are really jumping out at me. I did have Jackson Ferris. He was ranked pretty high. He went to the Cubs. So let's see if the Cubs can get him signed up to a deal. Peyton Graham, I thought, was a pretty good pick here. He's ranked 28th. You got him at 51. Peyton Graham's a pretty solid shortstop. Hey, good for the Tigers. Good for the Tigers. I like the Henry Boldy move. Good, solid move. He's also out of California, too. So let's move on here to competitive balance round B. We had Jude Fabian earlier in the super chat. Oh, come on, Naked HD XYZ. I'm not into this stuff right now. I'm talking baseball right now. Come on now. But the Mariners with Walter Ford. We had the super chat earlier. Let's talk a little Walter Ford. Pull him up here. All right, Walter Ford, 57 on Baseball America. Right-handed pitcher out of Florida in high school. 60 fastball, 60 slider. Just not much else to work with, but he's got a good frame. 6'2", 193. I do like that. Bit of a reach here with the Reds, but whatever. You're in the competitive balance B. So Jude Fabian's pretty interesting. Hey, going to the Baltimore Orioles. I like that. Let's go to round 2C. Okay. Okay, Tucker Tillman going to the Blue Jays. A lot of mock drafts did have Tucker Tillman going to the Blue Jays. So not surprised to see the Blue Jays picking him up. That's good value. Kind of like Colson Montgomery last year. Pretty similar scouting reports there. My Red Sox taking Anthony Roman out of Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. I've heard of that high school. Considering I live in Florida, I don't remember where that is, though. Where is that? Oh, Parkland, Florida. Okay, I don't live near there, but I have heard of that school. Anthony Roman. So they did reach on the first couple of picks, and then they got some good value with this pick. That sounds like Hyde Bloom. Here we go. Anthony Roman. Have not read his scouting report. He's number 72 on Baseball America. All right, so what do we got here? Outfielder, 6'3", 190. He's definitely got a big frame. He's only 18 years old. He's got power, 55 power. He's a left-handed bat. He's fine athletically, 50 run, 50 field, 50 arm. He's just a power lefty. So Anthony looks the part of a developing young slugger with wide shoulders and present strength that shows up in the form of massive 400-plus foot home runs. Raw power, easily plus. You're seeing a thing here. Obviously Mikey Romero, that's a guy more instinctive kind of a player, good hit tool, while you had Cutter Coffee and Anthony Roman plus raw power. So that's what Hyde Bloom, he seems to have a bit of a strategy here. So, but overall, I think this is a Oh, am I said? Oh, Roman Anthony. I'm sorry. I said Anthony Roman. Thank you, Connor, in the chat. I do appreciate that. Roman Anthony. I was reading that backwards because I see Anthony first right there. So I'm thinking, oh, his first name's Anthony. But yeah, overall, I think this was a fun first round. I mean, a little weird in that first round, you know, Kumar Rocker and everything. But overall, I think it was a fun first round. You know, Brock Porter, what's going on with him? I wonder if he could have gone at number 11 to the Mets and they couldn't, and they feel like they couldn't sign him, so they just went with best available. You know, for the Mets, they can't be playing around, you know, with the whole Kumar Rocker thing last year. They needed to go with guys that you knew you were going to be able to sign. The Red Sox with Mikey Romero, I'm a little underwhelmed by it, but there were some fun picks in this first round. John Turner, thoughts on DeLauder? I talked about him earlier. I think he has a chance to be one of the better hitters in this draft. He broke his foot in last year, but he had really good numbers last year for Duke, not Duke, sorry, James Madison University. Had good numbers. You know, he got hurt at one point, so I don't know. I think he could end up being a really good player. I think it's good value. He's a good disciplined hitter at the plate. I always like that. And for the Guardians, I think that's a pretty good bet. So, I don't know. I like it. I like a lot of these picks. Some of them are a little weird. But then again, it's the baseball draft. You don't know, what a lot of these guys could end up being. But I got a super chat coming in, and then I'm going to get out of here. Who do you think has had the best draft so far? I mean, I know it's kind of easy to go with the Orioles, but I did like them picking Jackson Holliday and Jude Fabian, getting two pretty good outfielders right there. I like the Padres getting a couple of pitchers there in Robbie Snelling and Dylan Lesko. I like that. I don't know. I'd have to just kind of run through it. I feel like there's just so many players right now. I'm trying to I don't know. I like the Twins. Twins with Brooks Lee. And then they ended up getting Connor Priel. I like that. Two really good college players there. Ooh, yeah, I like the Twins. I like the Twins there. Man, I like that a lot. Brooks Lee and Connor Priel. I think that's really solid. So I think my vote would actually maybe be the Twins right now. I love that the Pirates got Tamar Johnson. I love that. I thought that was a great pick. Tangser, do I like Zach Nato? Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. So, but there's a lot to like in this first round. But in the end, it was fun, just like it always was. Again, I apologize for not being here live. I wanted to sit here with all of you live and react to all the picks. And unfortunately, I was out of town, didn't get back until late. But I was able to do this. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to get out of here. I'm tired. I got to get some sleep. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice right now. So I'm going to go rest that up. But everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. We had a big turnout for tonight's stream. I want to thank everyone for all the super chats tonight. Thank you. Really do appreciate all of the support. Be on the lookout for some live streams this week. Me and John of Baseball Trade Values. We're going to be talking on Wednesday. I'm going to be probably doing something for the Home Run Derby tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe I'll do something for the All-Star game. We'll have to wait and see. But I might do a bit of a Home Run Derby thing tomorrow. I might just do like a watch-along or whatever. So be on the lookout for that. I would like to get a video uploaded maybe tomorrow at some point. Yeah, go take a look at the Juan Soto video that I posted and go have some fun with that. But everyone, go have yourself a good night. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I appreciate all the super chats. And hey, have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.